Alright, guys. Today I'm gonna start um, with my journey on quitting Instagram. Today's actually day 32, if I'm not mistaken. Day 34. So essentially, just to speak on the process of getting it done, because that's the biggest conspiracy that I'm currently aware of is just trying to delete the app is very easy, um, but actually trying to delete your account is like next level because just to find the account, the link to actually delete it, I had to do a whole separate search. You can't do it through the app. Um, it's one of those things where you have to like you have to fill in like give your password and everything just to go and delete, and it's this page that has not been kept up to date at all. So full on, once you find the page, once you like submit all your details to delete, and you get through that shitty deletion page, there's a there's a 30-day wait. So even if you were ready to be off the account and like happy and well not happy and free, I don't wanna push that point of view. In my mindset, and I'll get into why I did it in a bit, but just jumping in, if you wanna make a rash decision like cutting your tether to, I guess, digital life, um, removing Instagram is very difficult, because everything that they've built it up to be is so ingrained in like being social and keeping up to date with everyone, and yeah, it feels like there's an actual tether to it. For myself, I think since I was 15, that's 10 years. 10 years that I've had that that sort of tether to that app, and I most definitely got addicted to that app. Spent unnecessary amounts of time, um, like scrolling for 10 years, and I feel like it hadn't amounted to anything. I feel like a lot of the stuff is also just my fault. I'm not blaming it on an app. I'm not blaming it on a company. I'm just saying that it was one of the things that needed to go. And immediately after after doing so and not having that outlet to just scroll or just like short term look at something because you're bored, it at first it just brings awareness to everything around you, and then once you're aware of all the little things around you, it becomes very difficult to deal with that there's something you don't like, you're not enjoying about the moment. You can't just run away to your phone. And like I said, I'm not assuming issues for everyone. I'm just saying like I had my own shit to deal with. A part of it was just one of the outlets that needed to go. So, anyways, there's a 30-day wait once you want to delete your account, and then after the 30 days, it's fully wiped. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where within those 30 days, if you log back in, your account comes right back with all the posts and everything. So it's as if you never even tried to leave. So in my opinion, that's a terrible way to go about it. It's 30 days is a long time to sit and contemplate. And it does take some energy. I mean, I had several days where I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna well not don't know if I'm gonna make it through. My mindset was I'm done with it completely. And I think if you don't have that mindset of I'm doing this and I'm never going back, um, it's very easy to be swayed back into being on the app. Um, so, and I mean, if you're also very social, it it does it does become very hard to to leave an app like that. Um, but yeah, as I said, everyone will have their own reasons. Just trying to leave it alone is very tough. So essentially, why? I guess let's bring it to the why. As I mentioned, 10 years. 10 years of using this, you give a few seconds, they add up to hours over a year. And as that time adds up, you extrapolate that over like 10 years, and you look back and it's like, what can I do? Where is this pulling me to? What kind of people are being brought into my life because of this decision, because of how I'm using this to spend my life? I mean, if you took all the time that you spent scrolling and learned like a few words and phrases of a different language over 10 years, most definitely you could learn a new language. I don't want to jump into a video of like, oh, this is all the productive things that you could be doing with that time. I think just more freely, I want to speak about how without the app, there's like little behaviors that came to surface that I became aware of within those 30 days. As I said, today is like 34, whatever. I will not be counting anymore. It's just for the purpose of the video that I'm bringing it up. Um, but essentially, having having 30 days to sit and contemplate without having your outlet to just sit and battle boredom with. I guess the biggest outcome is that you notice many things about your life. You become aware of those things. So for me, I was aware of just my inability to handle boredom, and what I've noticed is like if I just sit and chill, um, I will just be inclined to do things. So the first thing is just like you just end up cleaning. I ended up cleaning my house like twice over. You just be sitting and chilling somewhere, and out of the corner of your eye, something would just like it was like automatic. You didn't have to think about it. Everything like before, like cleaning felt like a chore, and then now it's just like it's just happening as you're going about your day. And I'm not saying that's because I deleted the app. I think it's just because of the awareness. The most important thing, and I think that's the biggest takeaway from having had time off Instagram, is just comparison to other people's lives. Um, the biggest drawback all the time to the app is you'll be thinking, oh, like I wonder what this person's doing, let me check in. And I guess it's a bit false because if you needed to check in, you could just pick up a phone and make plans with them. But if if you're trying to check in on someone through Instagram, I think then already you're not necessarily as tight with that person. You're not necessarily friends with that person, and it's a bit difficult to come to terms with, especially if these are like high school, university people. Kind of have to bite the bullet and realize that some of these guys are like not necessarily gone, but there are certain times of friendships where before you had university, before you had high school, and there were reasons to be around them. And if you're not around them now, it's because there's other reasons. There's either personal interests or actual physical distance between you guys, or um, just genuinely you could be on two different parts. And I guess everyone's got their own struggle. So there's just reasons in that way where you won't be spending as much time with them. So that was the biggest takeaway, is that it's very difficult to come to terms with like, oh, okay, yeah, I was tied with this person, but realistically, without this app, I have no access to their life. And that's not a good or bad thing, but it just brings to light that like we're not making plans, we're not doing anything. You're not part of the main group of people that I see like every day or every week or weekend. So essentially, then we're not as tight as you would think. So I guess that was the little veil that was like taken over my eyes in the last few weeks. That was one of the major things, and then the other thing is just checking in on people just to compare yourself to people. that was one of the biggest things for me. Everything was so like critical. Everything was a comparison. Well, not everything, but like sometimes you just check in on this person to have a sly like look and like, are they doing well? Okay, we're like both 25. Like, what are they doing with their life? Like that kind of check in, and it's very very shitty on my end. But essentially, what that was happening through the app, you just quick search, find out what this person's up to, and it's a terrible mental game to play because you can't win. If you win, if you feel better than them, then like essentially you're doing yourself wrong. You're doing yourself harm. There's always more you can do. It's all like relative. Like um, yeah, but there's so many ways that you could be doing more constructive things with your life instead of just sitting and comparing. So on my end, that was very shitty. But yeah, that kind of behavior came up to light, and I think obviously if you can't engage in a habit or behavior, you will look for like the nearest method for you to be able to do that. So like I guess I was doing a lot of like comparing and sizing up with like my immediate circle, and after a while it just came to my awareness and I was like, whoa, okay, nah, I don't want to have that kind of like relationship with these people. Like this is my like close circle. Like I care way more about like just chilling with them and enjoying their company than like when I'm doing better, or just trying to like size up like, oh, okay, I got this, so I'm at this level. Like it's a pointless game to play. So yeah, that came to my awareness. I guess the one thing that I've been trying to do was surround myself with books. Like in and around my apartment, I got like books sitting around, just like every corner. I got stacks, and I guess the thinking was like if you have that many books around you, eventually you'll just naturally read. I think I fluctuate between periods of feeling motivated, periods of trying to jump in and be super gung ho on like say reading or other topics. I think with the reading stuff, like I would read if I was deeply inclined to read a particular book. But if I wasn't, or if I got bored, um, like I said, like you'll find some kind of outlet to give the time. So having fully like severed yourself off from Instagram, I think that's a very tough decision to make. But once you do it, I mean, the last time I didn't have Instagram or access to it was like when I was like 15. So it's like a whole 10 years of like behaviors to like undo. So like 30 days on, I feel like you can't really fathom all the change that is going to come from a decision like that. But you can, if you can already see some benefits. I mean, it's also a little bit of placebo. Like if you feel like you need to delete the app, whatever benefits you think you'll get, you'll most definitely get. Um, it's just the way like your mind works. But I think just giving like a little bit more time, you'll be able to find um, you'll be able to deal with a lot of the stuff that you haven't dealt with. Um, I guess this is also, you should be engaging in other like positive behaviors. Not necessarily like sit and meditate. That is like an outlet that I'm trying, but it's not in the sense of like, oh, sit and find your happy place, or sit and like do this. It's more like just sit and be still. Don't listen to anything, don't consume anything, just like let everything that is inside come to the surface and deal with it then. um, that's like the form of meditation that I've been exposed to, so that's my outlet. And then yeah, like I guess the other thing is like the things you really enjoy. you get it, like your mind sort of enjoys them more, and you get a bit more disappointed if you miss it. So like for gym, for me, it has been very like rough in terms of missing. It just felt terrible. um but yeah, so essentially, long story short, Instagram, very hard to leave the app. um Literally, you can't do it in under 30 days unless you just forget about the account. Essentially, it's gone from day one, depending on what you believe. But having that full account offline is a whole different story. Is it You have to wait 30 days, which is a bit annoying. But if you get to the goal, like if your goal is to just not go back from day one, you're already making progress. um yeah, and then yeah, there's, I think everyone's you'll experience like many changes across. It doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing. I think a lot of things that you're just like you don't want to deal with will end up coming up. And when it does, you'll have the strength and the like awareness to deal with it, most definitely. And yeah, I mean, then the next part is figuring out what like productive habits you want to throw yourself into. I think that's probably the more exciting part. And I guess that's where I'm trying to figure out now. I think it's reframing a lot of behaviors, as I said, with like gym. In your mind, it's when you don't have access to like a video game or your phone, or um, some kind of like outlet or something to look forward to, like a TV series or whatever, that you end up finding a lot more enjoyment with like just the simpler things that you that you do day to day, like gym. um you are a bit more present when you're like eating a meal, when you're like having a coffee or spending time with people. There's just like a deeper presence to those things and a deeper enjoyment with those things, especially if you're with family as well. That's also another thing I've noticed. So I think it's interesting because, day 30, but like, so there's no day. It's gone. The behavior is dead now. There's no going back. So it's gonna be exciting times. We'll see what comes out of it.